screen as well. It doesn't have to be a DP alone. So it'll be for the first few participants who join in. Hey Saundarya, hey Varun. Great. Hello, it's 3:45, so we'll start right now. Welcome to yet another weekend quiz by India Wants to Know. We are India's first panel quiz show for those of you who are joining us for the first time. My name is Sai Ganesh, and I'll be your host for today's quiz. Welcome to a very, very special Back to the 90s quiz. We have some great questions from the fun 1990s or the nostalgic 90s as we call them. Great, we have quite a few participants with us already joining in, but we'll run through the rules. So between 3:45 and 4 o'clock, we'll just run through the rules with how the quiz is going to go, what are the pro tips for you to use Zoom for this quiz, and a few trial questions so that you get a hang of it. And then by 4 o'clock, we should start with the first question of today's quiz, and we expect to end by 5:30. Right? Like I mentioned earlier, we've sold approximately 125 tickets so far. So we expect, including the panelists and everyone else from team number 9, approximately 150 people on this call today. Thank you so much for joining in. Hey Tariq, hey everyone. Just give me 1 second. We just need to sort something out. Sohan, could you tell me if the toolbar is still seen?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so let's move ahead. There's not much I can change about that. Great. We have 50 people on the call as of now. Hey Karthik, hey Abhishek Nandan, Akhil, Anand, Avinash, Divakar, Ganesh, Hemant, George Kuriakos is back again. Mayur, Nethal, we already said hi to. Payal, hi Payal, hi Saundarya. Tariq is here again. Yatin, Tanpreet, Abhijit, Anup, Chandrakala, Chetan, DS Nath, Dhritiman, Jayant, Jyotirmoy, Pramod Shetty, Rikhia, Ronak, Mridul, Sanket, Shivatsan, Titi, Utkarsh, and Varun. Hey folks, welcome. There is no audio playing, Tanpreet. There won't be audio throughout the entire quiz except for my voice and the participant's voice, right? Great. Let's start with the rules for now. So today's quiz is going to be completely on the 1990s or things that were popular in the 90s, right? Just give me 1 second. Just sorting a few technical issues for everyone.
Blame me for that.
Thank you. So you can just mute yourself throughout the quiz, and we shall unmute you when we have an opportunity for you to give the answer, right? So back to the quiz, right? So like I said, today's quiz for 90 minutes, we've tried to cover as many topics from the 1990s, right? So as we know, 1990s was a great decade. We had the Indian economy opening up to the world in 1991. We also had in 1996, Britain handing over its last substantial overseas possession, which was Hong Kong, handed over to China. But we should also not forget the most important things that also happened in the 90s. For example, Rishi Kapoor had this weird fetish for wearing sweaters in the late 80s, all the way till the early 90s, where he became the quintessential lover boy in colorful sweaters, singing in Ooty and Switzerland. It was such a fascinating trend that even in 1995, Saif Ali Khan wore the exact same sweater that Rishi Kapoor wore, right? So Rishi Kapoor wore the same sweater in 1995 in a movie called Sajan Ki Baahon Mein, and Saif Ali Khan wore this exact same sweater in Intaha, right? So we have far more interesting questions in today's quiz. So as they say in the 90s, take a chill pill, just relax and have a good time. Keep in mind, we only have 90 minutes to cover the quiz. So we obviously had to make choices. So we don't have any questions on Metallica's Nothing Else Matters. So all the engineering boys out there, we are extremely sorry. We don't have questions on Pulp Fiction. And we also don't have any questions on H.D. Deve Gowda and Fardeen Kapoor's debut movie, Premagan, right? But apart from those, we have some great questions for today's quiz. So let's run through the rounds. Can I just request all the panelists to turn on their video, please? Whoever is able to do that. Great. So here are the rules for today's quiz. Just keep in mind, for those of you joining us for the first time, India Wants to Know is India's first ever panel quiz show, and what we're trying to do essentially is trying to recreate the spirit of open quizzing in this lockdown and post-COVID world. So the questions are not meant to be easy peasy. We will not be asking you what is Amitabh Bachchan's favorite color, right? May he stay safe. But the questions are interesting, right? The questions are meant to be impossible. The questions are meant to make you think. And hopefully we want to hear more wrong guesses. So throughout the quiz, try and take interesting guesses, and we'll give you points for that, right? It's not really about getting the answer right as much as making your answer interesting. And a big shout out to everybody who's been participating over the last 13 quizzes. So we've been doing this since the Prime Minister announced Janta curfew, and every Sunday and now for the last few weeks, we've been doing this as bi-monthly quiz, where every Sunday we've been joining over 700 to 800 people across the country and across the globe. And we have raised 42,665. And all of this has been donated to Feeding India's Feed the Daily Wager project and Meals for Migrant project, right? So thank you so much to all of you, each and every one of you on this call right now. A big shout out to all of you and everybody else who helped spread the word. I know folks like Joy Bhattacharya has helped us spread the word. There are people who've shared this with their family members. I've seen screenshots from work WhatsApp groups where people are discussing about the next India Wants to Know quiz. So thank you so much for contributing to this. Over the next 90 minutes, essentially what we'll have is an unlimited set of questions. It all depends on how many we go through with respect to fun facts and answers and guesses. Throughout the quiz, the rule is simple. If you give us the right answer, you will get 10 points. If you give us a wrong answer, there are no negatives. So feel free to take guesses, right? The quiz is in this format. There's a question, there's a 30 seconds after the question has been asked, where you will have an opportunity to DM us the answer through chat. After which you can raise your hand and we will allow you to speak, right? During that portion, if you get the answer right, you get 10 points. If you get it wrong, we move to the next person. And finally, after the answer has been revealed, we also have a section called fun facts where people can share interesting and accurate facts about the question or the answer. You can first share this fun fact through chat, and we will allow those who are the most interesting fun facts, right? Just a second, I just need to change something. Shakti and Bertie are not able to share the screen because they are not co-hosts. That has been changed. We have 92 people on the call today. Good afternoon, Asim. Good afternoon, Mrityunjay. So Mrityunjay, I'm just going through rules once again. Like I said, the question will appear. So let's say the question is so this is a sample question that I'm doing. Who were the two people tied at the top spot with a score of 9.33, followed by Francesca, Shweta, and Jasmine? So let's assume this is the question that will appear on your screen. What you need to do is DM us on chat the answers right now. Hopefully, most of you should allow, okay. You should now be able to chat only with the panelists, right? You cannot, for example, Ramesh can't send a message to Rikia, for example, right? So all of you just need DM, like some of you are DMing us the answer. Tathagata has just DM'd us the right answer. So has Nitin. Yeah, right. So this is the question. First 30 seconds, everybody DMs. Now I will keep an eye on the clock, and once the 30 seconds are up, I will announce that Pounce is now closed. If I'm not announcing it, Shivani or Ananya or Manish on the chat will announce that Pounce is now closed. Right? Please remember, throughout the quiz, there are no negatives, so feel free to take guesses. Like some of you have said, PT Usha and Shiny Wilson. That's a great guess, right? That's a fantastic guess, even though it is incorrect, but it's interesting to hear the wrong guesses, right? After this, the person who mentioned PT Usha and Shiny Wilson, since your answer is incorrect, or probably you are not confident of your answer, you can raise your hand and choose to answer again. On the other hand, for example, Abhishek Nandan or Tathagato has given us the right answer. You don't need to pounce. You don't need to raise your hand, right? You have already pounced and gotten it right. So you don't need to raise your hand again. I hope I'm clear about it. Everybody gets an opportunity to answer. Chandrakala, let me just clarify once again. You have an option of chat on your Zoom. You need to use that chat. Let me just unmute you, Chandrakala, so that we are clear. Scorers and team number 9, can somebody just speak to Rashmi from KQA? She's having a difficulty finding the link to this quiz.
Sorry, Sai, could you repeat that?
Can you just, if anybody has contact of Rashmi from KQA, she's having difficulty signing into the quiz. She's just messaging me on WhatsApp. Chandrakala, can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So just to clarify, I'm just using you as an example. So when the question appears, you can give us your option through chat. So do you have an option to chat?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Don't use the Q&A format. Use the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. After that, so let's say, for example, you have mentioned PT Usha and Shiny Wilson, right? And you're not confident of the answer. You can just raise your hand. If somebody has not pounced, they can also raise their hand. What I'm trying to say is that if somebody's given us the right answer, there's no need to steal the candy from somebody else, right? So there's no negative throughout the entire quiz, Tathagata. Just I'm clarifying this once again. Throughout the quiz, 10 points for the correct answer. There is no negatives for any wrong answer. So feel free, right?
Mm-hmm.
So question appears, 30 seconds. I'll hear all the guesses on chat, after which I will individually let people unmute themselves and speak on voice, right? So let's say, for example, right now Chandrakala has been unmuted and she gives the answer. Can you give us the answer for this question, Chandrakala?
I think it's Aishwarya Rai and Sushmita Sen.
Exactly, right? So this is Aishwarya Rai and Sushmita Sen when they were tied for the top spot for Miss India. And this was resolved through a tiebreaker question, right? So over here, you get 10 points for correct answer. And we stop the question here. After which, if any of you have any fun facts about Aishwarya Rai, about Sushmita Sen, about Miss India, Miss World, Miss Universe, or anything about this event, you can just DM us the answer or DM us a fun fact. And if it's interesting enough, if it's not on the Wikipedia page, we'll unmute you and let you speak as well. So we won't spend more than 3 minutes per question on fun facts. I hope that's clear. Chandrakala, is it clear? Sorry, I was just using as an example, so I thought I'd do it on voice.
No worries, no worries.
Thank you.
Sai, can I jump in with a fun fact?
Sure. Can I just do the fun facts at the end? Sorry, I'm just running short of time.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. So for those of you who are joining for the first time and using Zoom, if you are using a laptop, you will see an option which says participants. Click on participants and then you can raise hands. I hope that's clear. If you're using mobile, you'll see at the bottom right on 3 dots where you need to click on it and you should see raise hand option, right? Please remember, even if you don't see the raise hand option, you can always pounce and DM us the answer through chat. You will get your points no matter what, right? Remember, we have over 150 people on this call today. It is impossible to give everyone a chance. It is not with intention that we may not give you, let's say for example, in this question, 20 of you are pouncing. Can someone go mute, please? Sorry, just 1 second. Yeah. So we cannot give everyone a chance. So we'll try and give chances to those who have not spoken earlier, those who have not appeared in earlier quizzes, and so on and so forth. Right? Aditya, if you can just get in touch with Yatin and figure out the option on his Zoom. Right? Throughout the quiz, we've designed the quiz in such a way that the questions are not Googleable. Right? The questions are interesting. At the same time, the questions can be workoutable, right? It's a challenge for us to do this, but we've tried as much. For example, in some questions, you may not say a full name. The reason is not to make it tougher for you, but the reason is really to make it interesting for you to take a guess, right? If you're using Zoom on desktop, please use a side-by-side view. So you'll see a green bar which says view side-by-side, and use that and just adjust it for an equal split between the screen that I'm sharing as well as my or the person who's speaking, right? Don't use Q&A. So I see some of you, Gaurav, who's pinged us on Q&A. Okay. Aditya, can you just like speak to Ganesh Natarajan? He seems to be having a technical issue.
Yeah, just sorting it out with him.
Thank you so much. Okay. Remember, on pounds, if there are 2 parts to the question, if I'm asking you for the capital of India and the former capital of India, you need to give us both parts on pounds. You will not get points if you give us only Delhi and don't mention Calcutta, right? So some of you may feel that, you know, your scores look lower. The reason is because you may have given us only a part answer. On direct, however, you can get points on part, which means on when I unmute you and let you speak, and you just say Delhi, you get 5 points. If you say Delhi and Calcutta, you get 10 points. I hope that's clear, right? Cool. Thank you so much for all of you joining in from so many different parts of India and different parts of the world. Let's go. Just remember, so the top 2 winners of today's quiz based on your scores will get Amazon vouchers of 2,000 rupees each. For the 6 best fun facts, right? So throughout the quiz, like I said, after every question, we'll have a portion for fun facts where you can share an interesting fact that is ideally not on Wikipedia. You will get Storytel subscriptions. These are for 6 winners throughout the entire quiz. These will be chosen by the panelists. Just a reminder, we have a special cricket quiz coming up on July 26th. That is 2 weeks from now. And on the Independence Day weekend, we have a Great India quiz. And this is a very, very special quiz because it's being hosted by Dr. Naveen Jaikumar, who's one of the most brilliant quizmasters in India, who's been hosting the landmark quiz for many, many decades. We're excited to have him on India Wants to Know on August 16th, right? Big shout out to Storytel for all the prizes they've been sponsoring over the last 13 quizzes. We may face technical issues, but don't worry, we have other people joining from other parts of the world, so they'll be able to take over. A big shout out to team number 9, Shivani, Ananya, Vivek, and everybody else from team number 9 who are helping put this together. Okay, big news. So we have a great panel with us today. Shakti Shetty, Vaidehi, and Bertie. I think Shrimi is yet to join us. Hari, could you just check with... Oh no, Shrimi is here.
She joined at the same time you mentioned she's on the
got it.
panel.
Yeah, thank you.
Magic.
Yeah. So Shrimi is here. Shrimi Verma from Bombay, Shakti Shetty from Gurgaon, Vaidehi and Bertie from Bangalore. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for today's quiz. We're running a little short, so I'm going to quickly run through this. A big shout out to India Wants to Know, India's first ever panel quiz show. This is something that we put together since December 13 last year. We've released 10 episodes. Do check them out. We also have episodes of the earlier live stream quizzes as well. All the best to all of you. Like I said, all the proceeds from these quizzes are going to charity. The only thing that we ask of you is to give us a shout out on Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook. Of course, TikTok is not available right now, but there's always Instagram Reel. Cool. Let's do a simple trial question before we head. Excuse me. Okay. Like I said, DM your answers on chat for the first 30 seconds, after which I will close pounds. No answers will be accepted after pounds is closed. Then you need to raise your hand on Zoom and I'll come to you. In 2020, right? Saif Ali Khan did this in the movie Jawan-e-Jaan-e-Man. In 1955, Marilyn Monroe did this. Who did it in 1992? Right? I just want to know who did it in 1992. A lot of you are getting this answer right on chat, so it's fairly clear how this format works. Pounds is closed. Let's go to those who have raised hands. Anubhav, go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My answer will be, I guess, 1992 Madhuri Dixit in Hum Aapke Hain Kaun.
Not Madhuri Dixit, Hum Aapke Hain Kaun. Yatin, go ahead.
It's Pooja Bedi from Jo Jeeta Wahi Sikandar.
Absolutely. And who's the person in the...
Sorry?
Who's the person on the left?
That's Saif Ali Khan.
Yeah, and who else?
And her daughter.
What's her name?
Pooja, I can't recall her daughter's name.
It's Alia Furniture-wala, right? So it's a fairly interesting piece of trivia that when Pooja Bedi acted in Jo Jeeta Wahi Sikandar, there's a very famous scene where, which is a tribute to Marilyn Monroe from 7 Year Itch, right? And interestingly, right, in 2020, there was a tribute to the Marilyn Monroe scene where Saif Ali Khan was in a bathrobe, and there's a famous scene where Alia Furniture-wala is actually holding up a fan below him, right, to recreate that skirt scene, right? And she's obviously the daughter of Pooja Bedi, who recreated this in the movie Jo Jeeta Wahi Sikandar, right? So for those of you who got it right on pounds, right? So some of you said Preeti Zinta. That's not the right answer, Sundaram, but I'm really loving your guesses. Jyotirmoy gave a brilliant guess. He said Amir Khan, right? That is not the right answer. But I know what you are on the right track. But my point is that if you have given a wrong answer, like Amir Khan, Preeti Zinta on pounds, you can just raise your hand and give us another answer. Those of you who said Pooja Bedi, Anand, Ashutosh, let's see, Rajiv said Pooja Bhatt. No, that's the wrong Pooja. Jitu said Pooja Bedi, you're right. So you don't need to pound, or you don't need to raise your hand. I'm just clarifying that, right? Cool. Let's start with the quiz. We're running a little late today. So the quiz is divided into two parts. There is a simple written round or a short rapid fire round of 5 questions just to ease you into the quiz. After which we'll move into the larger open quiz, which is based on the direct pounds format. Cool. Round 1, everybody's ready. This is a rapid fire round. Remember this, okay? I'm going to show you the cast members or the crew members from 90s TV shows. You need to identify the TV shows. You have to remember, wait till all the questions are answered, are shared with you on the screen. After which you have 30 seconds, type in all the 5 answers in one single message. I'm saying this because please understand, we have 150 people on the call. We have a team at the back end scoring this. It's impossible to go through each and every individual message. So each participant, please wait for the 5 questions to be over. please mention all your 5 guesses in one single message and DM us the answer. Cool. Here we go. First question of today's 90s quiz. Okay. Very, very famous people, including Vidya Balan in that. Which TV show would you have seen all of them in? Right? So this show started in the 90s, had multiple changes in the cast. Some characters remained with the same actor. Just name the show. Fairly easy one. Next question. Very, very famous show that started technically in the late 80s, but became very popular in India in the 90s. Again, Jitu, you don't need to raise your hand for this written rapid fire round. All you need to do is wait for all the questions. Just write down your answers and wait to send it out. Cool. So Avinash, Aditya, Akshat, just wait till all the 5 questions are out. Third, so you see Anurag Kashyap, Imtiaz Ali, Rajat Kapoor, Tigmanshu Dhulia, Sriram Raghavan on the screen. All of them were part of the crew of a very popular TV series that released in 1999. Which famous TV series? Right? Again, Netal, don't DM us the answer and tell us Byomkesh Bakshi. It is not Byomkesh Bakshi. Just wait for all the questions to be over. Cool. The next question, question number 4. Very famous people on the screen. All of them appeared in a very significant TV show in the 90s. Name the TV show. So you see Milind Soman, you see Rahul Bose, Sameer Soni, you see Soni Razdan, Mahesh Bhatt is there. Mahesh Bhatt made his debut on television with which TV show? And you also see the Ramayana series at the right, which is written by Ashok Banker. That should be a clue as well. Right? So this is question number 4. Which TV show did Milind Soman, Rahul Bose, Mahesh Bhatt, Ashok Banker, all of them appear in, or at least appear in the crew or the cast? Last question, fairly simple one. All very famous actors. Which TV show from the 90s would you have seen them in? I have removed or left out one key actor. You can now DM your answers. Excellent. I see some of you have been waiting and quite a few have gotten all of them right. A lot of memories coming back in with some interesting guesses. And one of the beauty about these guesses, while I'm waiting for the pounds to get closed, one of the beauty of these guesses is that some of you have a reason why you're guessing it, right? And it's really interesting to see. It's not just a random guess. Some of you have thought of a different piece of trivia or a different fun fact before we come to this. So we're closing pounds in 5 seconds. Pounds has closed, right? So Aditya has mentioned pounds is closed. So Ronak, there are 2 Ronaks, Ronak Singhania, Ronak Nevgi. Okay, cool. Let's go to the participants and raise hands and let's see what the answers are. Go ahead, Sanket. You want to give us the first guess? Which TV show is this?
This is Shanti.
Not Shanti. Very good guess. Go ahead, Sneha.
This is Hampach.
Absolutely right. Right. Do you remember the family name?
No, not exactly.
No, it's Mathur family, right?
Mathur.
Right. So that's absolutely right. So that's Ashok Saraf as Anand Mathur. Priya Tendulkar interestingly acted as Anand's first wife. And Vaidehi made this interesting comment. Vaidehi, you want to share your observation on this?
I just realized that this was a talking photograph before Harry Potter.
Exactly. Right. So this is the first time when you saw a dead person in a photograph talking to characters. That's Priya Tendulkar acting as Anand Mathur's first wife. And I found it interesting that a TV show in the 90s, which was filled with this whole Saas Bahu, extramarital affairs kind of a sets of stories, where they actually showed a man remarrying, and the first wife and the second wife are important characters and having this sort of a comic playoff. Interestingly, the cast members of some of the daughters, so there were 5 daughters that Anand Mathur had, right? Some of them actually went through changes in terms of cast. So Vidya Balan actually appeared as Radhika Mathur, replacing another character, another actress who acted as Radhika Mathur. And then there was Sujata Sangamitra who acted as Radhika Mathur, replacing Vidya Balan, right? Fairly interesting TV show from the 90s. Let's go to the next one. Titi, go ahead.
Sandokan, the great
Sorry?
the great Sandokan.
No, that's exactly what I was trying to mention. When can you tell us about the TV show that you're mentioning, Titi?
Actually, when I saw Kabir Bedi, I thought it may be him.
And can you tell us what the Great Sandokan is?
It's about a character who's Robin Hood-like character who robs the rich and helps out the poor. That's what I thought.
Absolutely. So it's one of the famous TV shows that Kabir Bedi appeared in and became famous in Italy because of that. But that is not the right answer, right? What I loved about Titi's guess is it's actually based on an interesting fun fact. Let's go to Rashmi. Go ahead, Rashmi.
This, I think, is The Bold and the Beautiful.
Can you recognize anybody from this?
I think that handsome guy in the left corner, I think his name was Ridge or something. I don't recognize the actor.
Absolutely. It is Rich Forrester. This is Bold and the Beautiful, right? So it's not Santa Barbara, like some of you have guessed. It's actually Bold and the Beautiful. Next question. Let's go to somebody who has not answered yet. Mridul, go ahead.
I didn't get this answer.
Okay. Did you have a guess for this? Think of a TV show that had these iconic directors.
Mitti Ke Rang?
Not Mitti Ke Rang. Next.
Is it Kahaniya from Star? They were, every different episode directed by a different director.
Yes.
Is it Kahaniya?
Not Kahaniya. It's actually Star Bestsellers.
Star Bestsellers. Yes.
Right.
Sorry, I got the name wrong.
Yeah, but I figured you were talking about the same TV show. This is Star Bestsellers. It had very interesting short stories. Each of them standalone short stories that were directed by iconic film directors today. So Anurag Kashyap made this movie, short story called Last Train to Mahakali with K.K. Menon. Imtiaz Ali directed this short story called Witness. In fact, Highway, the movie with Alia Bhatt, is actually based on a short story that he created for Star Bestsellers, right? Sriram Raghavan, before making Raman Raghav, he actually made this another episode for Star Bestsellers called First Kill. And Tigmanshu Dhulia actually made 3 or 4 short stories. Irfan Khan appeared in the show a lot, right? And Tanuja Chaturvedi and Hansal Mehta have also directed episodes before they became famous, right? Can anybody guess this one? Wow, quite a few raising hands. Sneha, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Mouthful of Sky.
What was significant about Mouthful of Sky?
It was the first English serial on national television.
Absolutely right? This is a fairly significant TV show called Mouthful of Sky. It came out in 1995, right? It had Rahul Bose, Milind Soman, Samir Soni, Simon Singh, Madhavan, Rajiv Mulchandani. So, and this was a Doordarshan TV show which was completely in English, right? Fairly significant for the early 90s. And Mahesh Bhatt made his directorial debut on television with this show. And the last question, I thought this is the simplest one. Go ahead, Tanpreet or Mridul.
Dekh Bhai Dekh.
Dekh Bhai Dekh is absolutely right? So Dekh Bhai Dekh, what I've left out obviously is Shekhar Suman from the cast. These are the other famous members of the cast of Dekh Bhai Dekh. So I'm just lowering everyone's hands. That's the end of the first round.
Who got Dekh Bhai Dekh on the? Who got Dekh Bhai Dekh on the? Who raised their hand correctly for Dekh Bhai Dekh?
Can you just mention your name on chat, please? The one person who mentioned, I think it is Tanpreet, but I'm not sure. Cool. We'll just wait. Give me a second for the scorers to go through the scores. Panelists, do you have any comments on any of the TV shows we watched? Have any of you watched Bold and Beautiful or Dekh Bhai Dekh?
Actually, I have a fun fact, which very interestingly leads back to the fun fact which I had for your trial question.
Sure.
So the trial question you asked was about Sushmita Sen and Aishwarya Rai, and both of them being on 9.33. And you said very clearly that it was then by a tiebreaker question. Do you know what the tiebreaker question was?
No.
Okay, so the tiebreaker question they asked Shushmita was, what do you know about textile heritage of your country and which do you prefer? And she said, my preference is Mahatma Gandhi's Khadi because Indian textile heritage goes from there. And the question to Aishwarya Rai was, what are the qualities you look for in a husband? Is it like Ridge Forrester from The Bold and the Beautiful or Mason Capel from Santa Barbara? She said, Mason, they have a lot in common, but he has a very caring side to him. So that is what gets my character.
Speaking of textile,
Yes.
Sushmita Sen's gloves when she won Miss India were actually stockings. So she needed gloves last minute and her mom made gloves out of stockings.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a really interesting fact. We'll give 100 points to Vaidehi since she's not competing in today's quiz. But,
Hey, what about me?
Bertie, we'll come back to you later.
I got a fun fact that links to your trials question. Okay, I need double points for
Deserves
that.
it.
No, actually, that's an interesting fact that the tiebreaker was resolved with this one quite a random question, like to ask somebody about the textile industry in India and ask somebody who your favorite character that you would like to marry in real life, right? And obviously, there were favorites during that time. I think Aishwarya Rai was, considered by everyone as the favorite to win the contest. So that was a fairly interesting part of the 90s. Okay, Pramod Shetty raise hand. We'll just come to you for a second before we move to next question. Go ahead, Pramod.
Yeah, no, just a fun fact on the first answer, Hum Panch. No, not a fun fact, but
sure.
When Hum Panch was aired on TV, at the same time on ZTV, there was Amanat serial. So both had the similar way of cast, like one father and 5 daughters. Just it was completely opposite of it. Like this was on the comedy side, and Amanat was on the tragedy side. Means it was.
That's a
more
very
on,
interesting fact, actually. We'll give you 2 points for that. Thanks, Pramod. That's a really interesting fact of 2 parallels TV shows in the 90s. Great. We are going to end the fun facts right now and move to the next question. I hope the scorers are all good. Okay, let's move forward. So remember, just lower your hands, please. Great. Let's move to the first question. Okay, we'll start in 1998. Who became famous in 1998? Who is considered as the patient zero of the bullying epidemic? So over the last many decades, people have been talking about cyberbullying and the need for conversations around mental health. The person who started this conversation way back and speaks about herself as the patient zero of bullying epidemic. In fact, recently this year, they released an ad campaign, a PSA, about how bullying epidemic is like a pandemic, right? And how people need to stay safe. Who is this person that we're talking about? You have another 10 seconds before which we close Pounce. So some of you said Deepika Padukone. We're talking about somebody who became famous in 1998. And Pounce closes in another, yeah, Pounce is closed. Adya has started. So Anup, Amit, Vinay, Mridul, Subhajit, Mohammed, Farhan, Shantanu, your answers will not be accepted. Please raise your hands. Great. Let's go to those who have raised hands. Sohan, are you unmuting them?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Ram Prakash.
I don't know, this is a random guess.
Sure. We expect random guesses. We appreciate random.
Let me guess, Milind Soman.
Not Milind Soman. Moving on. Rajesh, go ahead.
Yeah, again, very random guess. Is this Harshad Mehta?
Not Harshad Mehta. I, in fact, dropped a hint about the gender in my question.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Varun.
It's Monica Lewinsky.
Can you explain?
I think after the Clinton scandal, I think she was all over the news because she was being bullied by a large section of the population.
Absolutely right. This is Monica Lewinsky. So 10 points to Varun, who got it right. Monica Lewinsky has been campaigning against cyberbullying for the last 2 decades, right? In fact, for the last 3-4 years, she's been running her own public service campaigns where she's informing people about suicide helplines that's being set up by her team. to help combat cyberbullying, right? And in fact, when she launched this campaign 3 years ago, she changed her Twitter handle, right, as a sort of recognition of the bullying that happens online. Interesting, there's also an article or sort of an analysis which talks about 120 different songs which use the name Lewinsky as a derogatory term for either a sexual act or an inferior person, right? And there are a lot of songs which also use sort of rhymes between Lewinsky and whiskey, etc., right? So she's been talking about the need for a proper support mechanism to help those facing cyberbullying, revenge porn, all these kind of things. So she's been campaigning against for last many decades, right? Has anybody seen the TED talk that she's given? Panelists? Yeah, Vaidhi, go ahead.
It was a very insightful TED talk. She speaks about, she said that she gets asked a lot why she's doing this now, like what prompted her to start this campaign after so many years. And so she talks about this person called Tyler Clementi, who took his own life because there was a video of him kissing another boy which was streamed. So she said that kind of led her to start this campaign. And she talks about, there's this study that shows that humiliation is the emotion, like physiologically, humiliation is more intense than other emotions like happiness and anger and all that. And she's been advocating of people being upstanders rather than bystanders when they look at online hate. As in, what she means by being an upstander is not like confronting somebody who's being hateful. It's like supposing person B is being nasty towards person A. It's not about confronting person B. It's about saying something positive and affirming to person A or reporting the nasty tweet. So that's what she means by being an upstander, and that's what she campaigns for.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, so that's absolutely right. So this is Monica Lewinsky for those of you who on chat. So some of you said Deepika Padukone, and interesting guesses from people. Madhuri Dixit was one other guess. Steve Jobs was another guess. Harshad Mehta, Winona Ryder, Barbara Streisand, Lorena Bobbitt, Jennifer Aniston. In fact, we had a question on Lorena Bobbitt and then we cancelled because we weren't sure how many people would know the term Bobbitt. In fact, if you know what the term Bobbitt meant in the 90s, you can actually DM us. We'll give you a shout out. Yatin says yes. Okay.
Sai?
Yeah.
Quick shout out also. You can watch the TEDx. Another thing you have to watch is her interview with John Oliver on the episode on public shaming. It's very well done, and John Oliver actually publicly apologizes for some jokes that he had said earlier, and you can see it, how she faces the entire public humiliation, how she gives people motivation for those who have been in her case. So it's a very well done episode on public shaming.
Thank you, Bertie, for the recommendation.
I have one more.
Yes, please.
So her article, so she did this TED talk and an article for Vanity Fair, a story which came out, which were the two main things that sort of started her campaign. The article's name was Burn the Beret and Bury the Blue Dress. So she had an iconic image of her wearing a beret where the media portrayed her as tacky and like she was reaching above her rank. So she's kind of reclaiming her narrative with this.
Oh, that's really, really interesting. We'll give you 100 points for that fact as well. That's a really interesting fun fact about her attire. Rashmi, go ahead. We'll spend one more minute on this fun facts and move to the next question. Go ahead, Rashmi.
Well, the only thing I wanted to add was about the Bobbitt Panda. Not
sure.
Say nice things about Monica Lewinsky, but I have learned a lot, so thank you for that. So this guy, John Bobbitt, I think, he actually went on to star in his own movie called whatever, XYZ, Mr. Bobbitt Uncut, because being castrated by his wife and then becoming a well-known celebrity in the US and all over the world, he ensured that he made his money out of porn to ensure that people know that everything is back in working order. So, which I found extremely surprising because his wife went to jail and
Yes.
she still lives with that. She did this video where she speaks about how every time people figure out she is the Lorena Bobbitt, or even after she's changed her name, she's the person in that case, she loses friends and she has to move homes. But this guy went on to be a celebrity after being an abusive husband. So that's the 90s for you.
Absolutely. In fact, I think Satyajit Chetri has also mentioned this on chat. Lorena Bobbitt is another lady who's been vilified by the media, and actually she's an abusee who took her power back, right? I mean, she cut off her husband's penis because she was being abused, and it's interesting to see her husband in fact appeared shockingly on World Wrestling Federation on a fight night, right? So it's amazing to see how much he's taken advantage of the publicity. Tariq has actually given a recommendation. There's a documentary on Bobbitt on Netflix, right? So for those of you who want to watch it, there's a TED Talk by Monica Lewinsky. There's an interview with John Oliver with Lewinsky, and there's a documentary on Bobbitt on Netflix as well. Great. That's the end of the fun fact section for this question. Let's move to the next question. Scorers all good? Cool. Let's move to the next question. We'll go all the way till 1991. I'll just lower everyone's hands. Mridul, Ashish, Jyotirmay, sorry we couldn't come to you this time. Okay. This is the photograph of one of the assassins of Rajiv Gandhi called Dhanu. Right? Take a look at this photograph and tell me what is the clue in this photograph that the police missed according to P. Chidambaram. So there's an interview of P. Chidambaram where he looks at this photograph and he says there is something obviously wrong about this photograph and the police missed that fact. And that if they had not missed it, they may have avoided or caught her before the assassination. So what is wrong about this photograph that P. Chidambaram felt could have been a clue to the police? I'm going to give 30 seconds on this. It's a slightly complex question, but all the clues are in the visual. Look at this photograph and tell me what is the clue in this photograph that the police missed. Very, very interesting guesses. I wish I could read out all these guesses. We'll close Pounce in under 5 seconds. And Pounce is closed. The rest of you can just answer on voice, please. Okay, go ahead. Rupal?
I think she was not in uniform, school uniform, I think. I'm just guessing from the clue.
No, Rupal, that's not the right answer. Go ahead, Shubhandu.
The way she is holding the garland.
What is wrong about it?
Because of the vest, she was constricted. So the way she is holding the garland
is not the right answer. Let's go to Pratyush.
Is it that she's wearing a salwar kameez which was not available in Tamil Nadu in 1991? Something to do with the dress?
Are you saying that women in Tamil Nadu did not wear salwar kameez in the 90s?
That's a very random guess. That was just my guess.
And that random guess is absolutely right. 10 points to you. That's absolutely right? So salwar kameez, according to P. Chidambaram, was largely a North Indian phenomenon. Women in upcountry Tamil Nadu would largely wear saris. It's very unusual for a young woman to be wearing salwar kameez in upcountry Tamil Nadu. And he said that this should have been a clue because she wore a salwar kameez deliberately to hide the bomb on her body. Right? If she had worn a sari, obviously that would have been revealed. So she wore a salwar kameez to hide the bomb that was pinned to her body. And that's the reason why P. Chidambaram, in fact, there's an interesting documentary that was on Netflix called India in the 90s, in which they interviewed a lot of people from Piyush Pandey to P. Chidambaram and spoke about different events in the 90s. And P. Chidambaram, in one of his interviews in that documentary, said that this is a big clue that the police missed, that looking at a woman in Tamil Nadu wearing salwar kameez should have caught your attention and they could have avoided the assassination altogether. Right? So a lot of you give very, very interesting guesses. Let me just read out some of them. Right? Somebody said she had 6 fingers. No, this is not a Hrithik Roshan question. color of the clothes, being a left-hander, she wore a belt under the salwar, which is what the right answer was. She was wearing 2 bags, which might seem unusual for women in Tamil Nadu. I don't know. There is a bulge in the white kurta worn by the man. That's an interesting observation. Okay. Utkarsh gave an interesting guess. She said that Dhanu, her name is Dhanu, by the way. Dhanu is not looking at Rajiv Gandhi. She's looking away from Rajiv Gandhi, right? Which is an interesting guess. Someone said about the garland, there's no badge on her. There's a bindi on the forehead. There were no garlands allowed. She was wearing a, okay, I'll not go into that. She was wearing unnaturally loose clothes. And I think one of the best answers was from Ramesh Natarajan. He said that BJP colors are her dress, right? So police should have noticed that. Ramesh, that's not the right answer. But yeah. Any interesting fun facts around the Rajiv Gandhi assassination? Panelists, Srini, Bertie.
I was 1 year old when that happened. That's what I know.
That's a fun fact, Srini.
Yes, it is a fun fact. But apart from that, I don't know. People were sad, I assume, I hope.
I remember Doordarshan was very sad. Like for like weeks together, they just kept playing Shraddhanjali music, and Doordarshan had this practice where any statesman who passes away, like for a week, they would just have like slow, depressing music with people playing classical instruments. Okay, I'm just going to lower everyone's hands and then go back to fun facts. So if you have a fun fact about the Rajiv Gandhi assassination, just raise your hand, please.
I don't know if it's a fun fact, but in the US, the Kennedy assassination is always known as the day that you remember where you were.
Right.
And I think Rajiv, there have been 2 instances of that in India, and unfortunately, both are in the same family. It's either the day you remember when Indira Gandhi was assassinated, or the day you remember when Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated. So it's unfortunately the same family, but everybody does remember what they were doing when they were where they were when those 2 news came.
True. Let's go to somebody who's not answered so far. Tathagata, go ahead.
Yeah, so the iconic image from the assassination was a pair of Reebok sneakers. Very, very, very touching. It was just that and nothing else. And I remember is that the film Madras Cafe was certainly based on that entire incident of the conspiracy and how it happened.
Yes.
There's
In
a
fact,
Kannada,
please go ahead, Vadi.
there's a Kannada film also called Cyanide, which was about Shivarasan who hid with his companions in Konan Kunte near Bangalore. In Bangalore.
Absolutely. We'll give 2 points to Tathagata. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, there is a museum in Safdarjung in Delhi, which actually has Rajiv Gandhi's clothes. And I think the Reebok shoes are also there. Right, so it's got his kurta and his pajama, whatever remains of it, and the Reebok shoes that are actually kept in a display case in Delhi there.
Yeah, interestingly, the word assassination was coined by Shakespeare.
I think the first time it was used, yes,
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah,
it was used in Shakespeare. That's an interesting fact that Vaidehi mentioned about the Bangalore connection to Rajiv Gandhi's assassination. Vaidehi, do you want to add to that?
This was a story, I'm talking about the movie Cyanide, where I think it showed how the police kind of reached this hideout where these people were hiding. There was a milk lady and her son who were asked to supply milk to their house, and they kept peeking in to see what's happening, and they were suspicious. And the police went undercover to this place saying we want to rent the place, and then they finally cordoned off the place and got them.
Oh, interesting. And yes, and you mentioned this place called Konanakunte, which is the place that the police found the entire group of people who were responsible for the assassination. And like she said, there's a movie in Kannada called Cyanide. It's actually a bilingual film. It was made in Kannada and Tamil. In Tamil, it was called Kuppi, right? Which is what one of the guesses from the previous question was. Let's go to Kamya. Go ahead, Kamya. You have another fact to add?
Yeah, this is more of an anecdotal fact.
Because Rajiv Gandhi had a rare blood type, so whenever he used to travel, especially to the south, at that time Kochi was like Southern Naval Command. They used to have officers and sailors who had the same blood group as Rajiv Gandhi locked up in a ship offshore just in case he had been in an accident and needed blood. Even during this particular visit, they had kept a few people offshore in a ship.
Oh, that's a really interesting fact. We'll give you 2 points for that, Kamran. Thank you so much. And we'll take one last fact from Abhishek.
Yeah, so interestingly, like the day Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated, it's 21st May. And that year onwards, we celebrate or whatever day that day as anti-terrorism day in India. So as of now, so that is the biggest terrorism attack we have had.
Oh, wow. We'll give you 2 points as well. That's an interesting fact.
Sai,
yes.
Can you finish this off with one fun fact? I actually found a fun fact thanks to. So somebody said about the blood type. So this is true. So Rajiv Gandhi and Indira Gandhi both are O negative. Unfortunately, Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi are O positive. So right now the Congress, some of the Congress have this theory that only people with O negative become PM and not with O positive. So they are quite certain Priyanka Gandhi, who's O negative, has it in her. It runs in her blood because she's O negative.
The fact part of that is doubtful.
What a great, good one.
Fun fact, I am O negative.
Yeah, legit fun fact.
Finally, can I get 100 points?
We'll give 2 points for the fun part of it. There's not so much a fact in it, but yeah. So that's right, absolutely right. Like Vaidehi rightly said, Konanakunte is where the entire saga of Rajiv Gandhi's assassination came to an end, where the police apprehended the culprits. And for those of you who want to know where is it in Bangalore, there are multiple ways to give you landmarks, but I think the best landmark is not Metro Cash and Carry outlet, but actually Code's factory, right? So Code's factory and Rajiv Gandhi's assassins come from the same place in Bangalore. That's the right answer. Points to everyone. Lower your hands and let's go to next question.
Bertie.
Sorry? Except Bertie. Everyone gets points except Bertie. Interesting question, right? This is from the 90s. A particular TV show that appeared on Zee TV. Look at the visual carefully. You'll see 2 women, one dressed in unusual attire. That should give you a hint about what is happening in the scene. What is this TV show called, or what was it claimed to fame? Right. So the show was famous for one reason. Again, those of you who are pinging on Q&A like Dhruv, please don't do that. Your answer is public to everyone. But he said Hina. That is not the right answer. Right? Closing pounds in under 6 seconds, before which we'll go to those who have raised hands. Okay, pounds is closed. Let's go to those. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Divakar, go ahead.
Is this the remake of Friends?
What was it called?
I don't know what it is called, but looking at...
Take a guess. If you were remaking Friends in India, what would you call it?
Dosto? I don't know.
That seems like a smart answer, right? Dosto. But actually, it's just called Hello Friends. Right?
Oh, wow.
So the Indian remake of the Friends TV show was just called Hello Friends. And interestingly, it had at least 3 VJs in it. So there's Maria Goretti, who plays a character inspired by Phoebe. There's Cyrus Brocha, who plays a character inspired by Chandler Bing or Matthew Perry. And Ross's character is played by Nikhil Chinnappa, right? And all 3 were obviously famous VJs in the 90s. Central Perk Cafe is changed to Uncle Sam's Cafe, which is run by a person called Uncle Sam, right? So this show is very simple in its plotline. There's no complexity, right? Instead of being a chef, because obviously chef in the 90s is a very complicated profession in India, supposedly. So Sanjana who's a character inspired by Monica Geller, is a fashion designer. Penny is an aspiring musician inspired by Phoebe. Maya is a rich girl who ran away from the altar because she didn't like the groom, obviously based on Rachel Green. Cyrus, an ad executive in an office, is inspired by Chandler Bing. Rahul, a struggling model, inspired by Joey, the struggling actor. And Vikram is played by Nikhil Chanappa, who's a computer programmer and a forever depressed character. Right? I'll share some interesting fun facts because I actually watched this TV show to research for this quiz. This show obviously lasted only for one season, but what they've done interestingly is that they've crammed all 6 seasons of the original American TV show Friends and put it into 6 episodes of the Indian TV show. So Ross gets divorced by his wife because she's seeing another man, not another woman. He loses his temper at office for lunch. All of this happens within the first 2 episodes, right? His parents come, they find out about his sister losing her job, etc., etc. So all the people that Monica and Rachel date are all seen as parodies in the show. Yeah, that's my interesting fun fact about Hello Friends. Let's go to people who've actually watched the show. Sanket? Okay, Varun, Mohammed Farhan, anybody to add fun facts on this? Yeah, go ahead. Okay, anybody in the panelists who's watched Friends or Hello Friends?
No, I just want to say they probably like fit in all the jokes in one season because they knew it will be cancelled soon. No?
Yeah,
I would. If I would be.
Anybody who's not a fan of Friends on this call?
Well, define fan.
Like it's very difficult to be.
Okay, Sohan, can you just help unmute the people, please?
Hi. So recently,
came
up, this is Netal. So recently, I think someone asked the Friends character if they would remake Friends, considering the whole Black Lives Matter thing, and they said that it would be far more diverse. And if you actually look back, I think a lot of the jokes are very, very sexist. It can also be racist. So yeah, I know it's a very, very unpopular opinion, but I think it's very, very inappropriate, the show.
No, I think, Netal, that's an interesting point that you're bringing up. We also discussed this actually in our prep for this quiz, that Friends is obviously a very popular show. A lot of us have good memories of watching it, and it's like a comfort TV show, as Srini once said. But it also was problematic in the sense that I think for almost 7 or 8 seasons, they didn't have any significant Black character or representation of other races. And it was largely this sort of young, white, young people living in the village and their lifestyle, right? So there was a character called Charlie who was introduced, I think, in season 8. And many people saw it as a sort of a token Black character, as it is known in popular culture. So fairly interesting. We'll give you 2 points for mentioning that. Yeah, go ahead.
So, yes, there's a very popular fan theory, that the show is being, dreamt by Phoebe. Phoebe dreams that she's a part of this Friends group, and at the end of the 10th season, she comes out of her dream, and that seemed, very perfectly. That fitted perfectly.
Sure, but we'll only discuss fun facts here. We won't discuss fan theory. Sorry. So we won't give you points for that. Anybody else? Yatin or Ronak? Yeah. Or Bertie, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so everybody might remember that one night in Vegas, that episode. In the beginning, what happens is all the names have the word Arquette at the back. It goes Courtney Cox Arquette, Jennifer Aniston Arquette, and so on and so forth. So this was a tribute to the fact that Courtney Cox got married to David Arquette just the week preceding, so they put in the name. Now here's a fun fact. David Arquette's mother is Rosanna Arquette. Okay, she was an actress on whom the song Rosanna by the best band in the world, Toto, is after. Because the keyboardist of Toto, Steve Porcaro, was dating Rosanna at that time. So here, I managed to plug in Toto into this quiz. Yes.
Thank you.
David was also in an episode of Friends, actually. He played Phoebe's sister, Ursula Stalker, who then Phoebe also falls in love with. So she starts, I think that's where Courtney Cox and he met. And no, actually they met on the set of Scream. Actually, I don't know.
They met on the set
of
Scream.
But he was there in Friends too.
Yeah, I think you're talking about Sean Penn.
David was also there in the earlier seasons. He was in love with...
He was.
He was in love with Ursula's character, and Phoebe is still, I think season 2 or 3, quite early in the show.
Since we're talking about Courtney Cox, she's the only character amongst the cast members who didn't win an Emmy. Everybody else did win.
Oh, that's interesting.
she's the only person who's danced with Bruce Springsteen in a
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
famous video. So yeah, Dancing in the Dark.
Go ahead, Shresh.
Yeah, so hi guys, how's everyone doing? So the one really interesting thing is that there's this character called Gunther who's kind of in love with Rachel. So Gunther got his role only because he could make a coffee machine, espresso machine work. So they were looking for side characters to put in this show, and they couldn't really find anyone who could really make an espresso machine work. And so he was one of the sidekicks who was working on the side in the production of the show. And then the director said, "Oh, can you do it? Awesome! We'll get your hair colored white, and we'll make you Gunther."
Oh, that's very interesting. We'll give 2 points for that interesting fact, Shresh. You're absolutely right. Gunther was supposedly the only person who knew how to operate the coffee machine, and that's how he got. In fact, Srini mentioned an interesting fact about Ursula. Does anyone remember this character called Ursula? She's
the twin sister.
Yeah. And where does she come from? And the character.
She's in the Buffet, Vampire Slayer. She's in that show.
No, that's the porno.
No,
You're getting
The
confused.
vampire layer.
With reality and fantasy.
It was a previous show in which Phoebe Buffay had starred, and she played the role of Ursula in that, where she was a waitress. And then she reprised. I forget the show's name though.
It's called Mad About You.
Mad About You. Yeah. We'll give 2 points to Niran for getting the fact right, and Mrinal for remembering porn films from Friends. Yeah. We'll take one last fun fact before we move to the next question. Go ahead, Ronak. Okay. In the meanwhile, I'll share an interesting fun fact about Chandler Bing. So there's an episode where Chandler Bing and Monica are going on their honeymoon. And if you remember, Friends, there's this whole joke about Monica being proud of being able to go through security check without setting the alarm off. That scene was actually reshot, right? That scene, actually, the joke was that Chandler Bing looks at a signboard at an airport and says that, how can you not allow people to make jokes about terrorism, bombs, etc., right? So there's a rule in most airports across the globe that you cannot make jokes about bombs, hijacking, or terrorists. And Chandler Bing makes a joke about it, saying you have to arrest the terrorists and not the people who make jokes about terrorists, right? Unfortunately, this happened around the time of September 11th or 9/11, and they had to delete the scene and reshoot the scene. So you can actually watch the scene on YouTube. So it's a recommendation to watch the Chandler Bing scene, which is deleted from Friends because of what happened at 9/11, right? Fairly interesting. Let's go one last.
Wait, I have one more fun fact, but only if you give me 100 points.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so both Monica and Chandler are married on 15th May, and so are Amy and Jake from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Both these couples are married on the same day, which is 15th May.
Okay, you definitely deserve 15 points for that. Given
15 points? I thought 100 points, but okay, fine, whatever.
No, we'll give 100 points to you. It's only Bertie that we have issues giving points.
Yeah, I mentioned 2 classic rock legends and I didn't even get 2 points. So yeah.
This is 90s quiz. So we if you had given us about pop music, cassettes, music albums, we may have given you points. Interestingly, there are other shows which are also directly inspired or officially inspired by American shows. There's the show called Sumit Sambhal Lega, which is inspired by Everybody Loves Raymond, right? And then there's of course Karishma Ka Karishma, inspired by
Small Wonder.
Small Wonder. Thank you. If anybody, let's do this small poll. On the chat, you can actually tell us whether you know Small Wonder, if you watch Small Wonder or you watch Karishma Ka Karishma. Just let us know. It will be interesting to see how many people know Small Wonder instead of Karishma Ka Karishma. Okay, thank God. Most of you are saying Small Wonder. There's obviously the one person who will say it's Ugly Betty and Jessie Koi Nahi, which is also true. Cool. Let's move to the next question.
I got one interesting bit about Small Wonder. So the little girl, she's currently a nun. I think she didn't grow up to become an actress. She became a nun, if I'm not mistaken.
That's true. In fact, all the cast members, almost all the cast members of Small Wonder, are not doing conventional, actor-like jobs. In fact, Jamie was actually homeless for the longest period of time, right?
Wow. Oh yeah.
So it's fairly tragic, the story of most of these actors. Then, of course, those of you who remember G Mantri Ji, which is inspired by the British show that became popular in the 90s called Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister. Great. Let's move quickly to the next question. Ashish, sorry, we won't be able to hear your fun fact. We want to run through faster with today's quiz. Okay. What was unusual about Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, especially when you compare it to any other Salman Khan movie today? Right? So something unusual happened in this movie, specifically with Madhuri Dixit, that is unthinkable in any other Salman Khan movie today. It is also very unusual for most Hindi films of that time. What am I talking about? You have another 9 seconds. I'm looking for a specific fact. Pounce is closed. Okay. So Lokanand, Tanpreet, Akshad, and Anand, Ashish, Rashmi, your answers will not be accepted. So please raise your hand. Shresht, yours as well. Go ahead, Shubhendu.
Madhuri Dixit was given a higher billing. I mean, she was paid more than Salman Khan. She had her name first.
It's as simple as that. That's all we're looking for. So Madhuri Dixit was actually paid a salary of close to 2.75 crores. And this was higher than what Salman Khan got, right? So at that time, obviously, Madhuri Dixit's popularity was a lot higher than that of Salman Khan, right? And she was paid more than Salman Khan in Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, right? And this was also revealed recently by Anupam Kher, where he said that on his show, Madhuri Dixit had come on board and spoken about this, right? Fairly interesting fact. Srini, Shakti, Vaidehi, anything to add on this?
I think this was also one of the few Salman movies that had a script. That's not a fun fact. That's just general observation because I watch a lot of Salman Khan movies.
Actually, this movie is not really. It's inspired by another, if I'm not mistaken, a Bhojpuri film, right? Nadia Ke Paar.
That's absolutely
right. It's a Rashtriya movie only.
It was a Rashtriya movie. Yeah, it was 1982 film.
Have you watched the movie, Shakti?
Yeah, I've seen that movie. Yeah.
Anything interesting from that movie?
Interestingly, that movie released in 1982. So if you notice, in 1980s, there was an uptick in the name because, like we know, like Bollywood inspires a lot of baby names, right? So Chandan became a popular name because of that. And similarly, in 1990s, Prem became also a common popular name for kids. And interestingly, it was a completion of circle because of Prem Chopra, people stopped naming their kids Prem, and that was reversed by Salman Khan because of Hum Aapke Kaun, and before that another movie with Bhagyashree.
Maine Pyar Kiya.
Maine Pyar Kiya, yeah.
Another movie, no, we can't describe it as another movie. Well, I'll give you 100 points. That's really interesting. The fact that Chandan became popular with the earlier movie that inspired Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, and the fact that Prem was not a popular name because of Prem Chopra, but actually came back in vogue because of Salman Khan.
Hi, this is Ashish. I have a fun fact. It is a very known fact that Nadia Ke Paar is a Bhojpuri movie and set in Bihar, but it is basically based in Balia, Uttar Pradesh.
Oh, interesting. We'll give you 2 points for that. Go ahead, Shantanu.
Hi. So the original name of the movie was supposed to be Diktana, which was later changed to Hum Aapke Kaun.
Oh, we'll give you 2 points for that. That's a really hilarious.
Can I add something?
Please.
So one of the biggest fans of this movie is self-proclaimed fans is MF Hussain, right? So he was a fan of Madhuri Dixit. So he in one interview said that he has seen the movie knowingly 55 times. So I did the math. Okay, so the movie is 3.5 hours long. So that is 11,550 minutes, which is 192 hours, meaning he's watched 8 days worth of that movie. 8 days of his life on watching Hum Aapke Hain Kaun.
Now you get 100 points.
Oh my God.
For the effort you put in finally, yes. You deserve 100 points.
There was also a rumor that Tuffy was adopted by Madhuri after the movie got over, but I don't know how true that is.
Who is Tuffy? Srini, tell us.
What do you mean who's Tuffy? Tuffy is literally the only good thing about Hum Aapke Hain Kaun. The dog who saves everything and everyone, who gives the letter to Monish Bahl instead of Salman Khan, everything. But yeah, apparently Madhuri's family adopted him after the movie got over. But I don't know how legit it is, but I just think it's cute.
No, I think that's true. I believe Madhuri's family did adopt it.
है ना?
Also,
Yeah.
another fact is that Hum Aapke Hai Kaun had the maximum number of songs for any Hindi movie till then. Almost 13
Also,
songs.
Also, one other interesting funda is that the movie Chocolate Ice Cream was not in the first cut of the film because it was running very long. Then the movie was re-released, and then Chocolate Ice Cream was put, and people just went to watch that song, and then they left the theaters after that. My family
Ice cream lime juice.
Ice cream lime juice, yes, that one.
This,
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, go ahead.
This kind of promotion was done in Kahona Pyar Hai also. When the first cut of the movie released, it didn't have that Janeman song. And see, at that time, like, movies would run for weeks. And then when the movie was a blockbuster, they re-released the film with this song including, which is Janeman, whatever, some dumb song. But yeah, this has been happening in Bollywood here and there.
Since we spoke about Maine Pyar Kiya, I think Joote Le Lo Paise De Do, that song has a couple of tracks from Kabutar Ja Ja Ja.
Yeah.
Like the music
goes,
is
yeah.
So I think Suraj Bhartia has done that for quite a few of his films, where he sort of pays tribute to Maine Pyar Kiya songs. The other interesting fact that was that almost everybody in the movie got nominated or won an award, including Anupam Kher, but Salman Khan did not. Right, so Salman Khan was fairly upset that did not win any nominations for his role. Everybody just gave credit to Madhuri Dixit and other actors, including Tuffy, as Srini said.
One more interesting thing about the Maine Pyar Kiya and Hum Aapke Hai Kaun crossover is that there's a scene before Joote Do Paise Lo where they call up Salman Khan's character and they try to like distract him so that they can steal the shoes. And the girl on the other line is like, she's like, "Main Suman hu," which is Bhagyashree's character name in Maine Pyar Kiya.
Oh, nice.
And he's like, "Acha Suman," she's like, "हाँ हम पिछले जन्म प्यार करते थे." So he's like, "अच्छा इस जन्म में निशा अच्छी है क्या?" Nisha is Madhuri's character in Hum Aapke Hai Kaun. So like there are lots of Suraj Bhartia Easter eggs in his content.
Wow, that's really cool. Cool. So we'll move quickly. Sorry, folks, we won't be able to take everybody's facts.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll just move quickly to the next question. Breaking news: Salman Khan denies that Madhuri Dixit was paid more than him.
He couldn't stand that someone got more.
Yeah.
Cool. Next question. This is a street view of a square in Savannah, Georgia, right? Which is in tribute to a 19th century battle, right? Most movie buffs go to this square for a certain reason and sit on a bench there. Why do they do that? So look at this photograph. Tell me, where have all of us seen this? You have another 10 seconds to answer it before we move to pounds, because fairly easy one. We're getting a lot of right answers. Pounds close in under 2 seconds and pounds is closed. Aditya's on. So Divakar, Shubhendu, Oinder, Jayant, Ashish, you won't get points. Please raise your hands. Let's go to Vineet. Go ahead, Vineet.
Hi, is this the Forrest Gump bench?
Absolutely right, right? This is the Forrest Gump bench, right? Which is why people flock to this place. So 10 points to Vineet and everybody else on the pound. Some of you said Tom Hanks. We won't be able to give you points for Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks did a lot of memorable movies in the 90s, right? Friends title track is another interesting guess that came in. Some of you said Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil appears in Schindler's List movie. Great. Let's move quickly to the next question. I won't take fun facts on this because of a certain reason. Lowering everyone's hands. Scorers, I hope everything is fine. Great. I think everybody is aware that,
going on site. Just give a few seconds.
Sure. Everybody's aware that, Aamir Khan is making a remake of Forrest Gump. Does anyone know the name? Okay, let's go to Anubhav. Go ahead. Tell us what's the name of the movie.
Lal Singh Chadda.
Absolutely right. It's called Lal Singh Chadda, right? And another interesting fun fact was that Haley Joel Osment appears in this movie as a younger kid. Any other fun facts to share about Forrest Gump? Aarti, go ahead, or Ashish.
So,
Okay, we'll move on now. Next question. Okay. Lowering everyone's hands. Ashish, Farhan, Nidish, I'll come back to you later. Okay. So we spoke about Forrest Gump, right? Tell me what is common to this famous line from Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Hello, Clarice from Silence of the Lambs, and thumbs up. I've given you 3 broad examples from 3 different parts. Just tell me what is common, and you can connect all of them to someone who again became famous in the 90s, specifically in the beginning of the decade on 1990, February 11th, right? So slightly complex question. Look at all the 3 clues and connect it to a person who was released in 1990, right? Pounce closes in another 6 seconds before we go to people who are raising hands. I would suggest all of you raise your hands. Pounce is closed. Aditya has announced Pounce closed. Sukhada, Ashish, I would suggest you just raise your hands. Okay, let's go to Sukhada. Go ahead.
So this is a random guess, but is it
Sure.
Sanjay Dutt?
Can you explain?
Just a hunch because he was released from jail and he's a 80s, 90s hero.
Interesting. Nice guess, but that's not the right answer. Let's go to Sneha.
Yeah, is this something to do with Mandela? Nelson Mandela was released then, and he'd have all those photos with the thumbs up thing. So I'm guessing that's something to do with thumbs up. And I don't think Hannibal Lecter said hello Clarice, so something to do with that as well, where like the Mandela effect, where somebody assumes that that's how he died.
What is the Mandela effect?
Like this assumption that I think everyone thinks that Mandela passed away in a certain way back in the 80s in prison. So like one of those weird flat earthers conspiracies, one of them.
Right. Absolutely right. We'll give you points for that. So 10 points to Sneha and everybody else who said Mandela effect in the chat, right? So the correct answer is something known as the Mandela effect. So Mandela effect refers to what is known as false memories, where collectively all of us believe that something has happened or this is the fact, right? Whereas it's actually not true. So in the 90s, a lot of people believed that Mandela had actually died, right? So this was referred to as a Mandela effect. It's basically the concept of collective false memories where all of us believe that this has actually happened and for no particular reason, right? And one of my favorite examples from the 90s is this dialogue. So if I ask you what is the most famous dialogue from Forrest Gump, most of you will say life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get. The actual answer is that he never says this. He said, Mama always said life was like a box of chocolates. But everybody else remembers it as the line as life is like a box of chocolates. Similarly, in The Silence of the Lambs, Anthony Hopkins never says hello Clarice. Right? This has become part of popular culture. We all believe that he said this. He actually says good morning. And then Jodie Foster says, hi, my name is Clarice. That is the actual dialogue and the scene, right? And there are many examples like this. I don't know if how many of you remember this urban legend in the 90s growing up, that Tommy Hilfiger supposedly came on Oprah Winfrey's show. And he said that he makes clothes only for white people and not for Hispanics and blacks. And Oprah Winfrey threw him out of the show. This never happened, right? So there's a lot of literature online where you'll find people saying that I've watched this show, I've seen this show, etc., etc. This has never happened, right? And there are many, many different examples of this. One of the most famous examples that Vaidehi spoke about was the fact that thumbs up doesn't have a B in the name, right? It is just THUMS up, right? And fairly interesting stories of, what is known as the Mandela effect.
It's also a missed opportunity that they don't have Hrithik Roshan endorsing thumbs. It would have been grammatically correct.
Because of his thumb, yes, that's a good point, Vaidehi. In fact, I used to manage this brand.
2 thumbs up. Sorry.
2 thumbs up for that guess, right? Yeah, absolutely right.
You were saying, what were you saying?
I was saying that, so there's a brand called Hayward's 5000 in India. It's a beer brand. Now, I used to manage this brand as a brand manager, and whenever we speak to people, people have this idea that there is a Hayward's 10,000 or a Hayward's 20,000 and so on. And we never release this brand, right? But consumers always thought that there is a Hayward's 2000, there's a Hayward's 5000 and a Hayward's 10,000. And it's an example of the Mandela effect that I want to just show. And of course, the most famous one is this line, "Luke, I'm your father," is never said in Star Wars, right? I'm sure many of you think that, Darth Vader tells Skywalker that, "Luke, I'm your father," but actually this line is never spoken, right? Srivatsan is absolutely right. He says, "No, I'm your father." That is the line from Star Wars, right? Shweta says, "Mind blown by this question." And Funda, thank you, Shweta. This is one of our favorite questions of the quiz as well.
Quick fun fact: when they shot this line, only Mark Hamill and the guy who was playing Darth Vader knew that this was going to be added later. When they shot it, he actually didn't say anything about your father. He actually says, "Obi-Wan Kenobi killed your father." Then in post-edit, in dubbing, they added the line, "No, I'm your father." So people who were there, the cameraman, the sound guy, everybody thought that this was still the line. They had no idea about reveal, those who worked on the film itself.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Bertie, for sharing that. We'll take one fun fact before moving to the next question. Go ahead, Aarti.
Yeah, my favorite one is from Casablanca.
Yes.
They don't actually say "play it again, Sam."
Absolutely.
Yeah.
2 points to you. "Played Again, Sam" is another example of Mandela effect. That line is never spoken in the entire film. Go ahead, Asim. Or Sumukh. Go ahead, yeah.
So in the movie, आप मुझे अच्छे लगने लगे, ऋतिक रोशन and the other heroine. So there's a song, "आई प्यार की ये रुत बड़ी," and then it's actually Tufani, but I don't know. All of us have this in mind that it's Suhani.
Yeah.
So this is another good example of Mandela effect. And also, there is no hyphen in Kit Kat brand. It's straight Kit Kat.
Yeah. Absolutely right. 2 points to you, Asim, for that. Sumukh, one last fact, and we'll go to the next question.
Yeah, this is Rajat instead of Sumukh. I'm just logged in. Yeah, so just to add, it's not a fun fact, but just to add to Bertie's comment on the Star Wars thing, that, technically Obi-Wan killed your father will also be correct, because that version, he was not Darth Vader before that event or that battle happened in episode 3. So technically that would have also been correct. So I think they were justified in making this change and just changing the plotting.
Interesting, Raja. Thank you so much for sharing that. 2 points to you as well. Lowering everyone's hands. I'll move quickly. It's already 5:10. Great. These are two types of bindis that became popular in the 90s. Just tell me, what are the two reasons why these two bindis became popular? You have another 25 seconds to answer this. So the first bindi essentially has a straight line and an arrow. Basically, this lady who was an actress, she had the style of doing an exclamation mark or an arrow and so on. And on the day of an audition for one of her characters, she actually used this bindi, and the producers loved it. Right? And the one on the right is a very popular type of bindi, which has a red bindi and a line and a dot below. Pounds close in under 2 seconds before we go to Anubhav. Closed. Okay, go ahead, Anubhav. Or Utkarsh.
Okay, the bindis are, one is Brinda Karat, and other one is Pranay Roy's wife who owned the NDTV. So the logo in NDTV is actually the bindi of his wife.
That's a very nice guess, Anubhav, but that's not the right answer. We actually discussed using Radhika Roy's bindi as a clue, but that's not what we're looking for. Utkarsh?
So I'm guessing for the right one, was it used in the logo of SANS?
That's right. I'll give you 5 points for SANS. Which is the one on the left?
Left, I'm not sure of.
Take a guess. Very famous TV show from the 90s. Otherwise, we'll go to Just Krishnan.
I'm guessing this is Kasauti Zindagi Ki and Kamalika's character.
No. Rajiv.
Is it from Shanti? Is it from Shanti?
Sorry, who's speaking right now? I can't see you.
This is Rajiv.
Rajiv. I'll give you 5 points as well. Right? That's absolutely right. This is Shanti. So when Mandira Bedi appeared for the auditions of Shanti, she happened to be using this style of bindi, which is basically an arrow, right? And the producers loved it, and they said this should be the look of Shanti, right? And Neena Gupta popularized this different style of bindis in the 90s called SANS, which is the red dot with the black line below, right? So 10 points to anybody who said Saas and Shanti both together. If you've given one on pounds, you won't get part points. Any memories from Shanti or Sans? Shrimi, Vaidehi? Vaidehi had mentioned this interesting show called Alpaviram. You want to tell us something about it, Vaidehi?
No, I just thought that the logo of the show was a comma, and she's in a coma in the show. So that was just a pun.
That's interesting. What does Alpaviram mean?
I think in Hindi it does mean comma.
Nice. That's a fairly interesting piece of trivia of a pun in Indian TV shows names. Another interesting trend of fashion inspired by television, Rachel cut, right? So there were rumors or documents of how women would go to the parlors with the copy of TV guides, right? Saying, I want the Rachel cut. And some people would actually ask them to play the episode saying that I want exactly this haircut, right? And there are many examples of obviously television inspiring fashion. But we'll move quickly to the next question, lowering everyone's hands. Okay, there's a very popular, there's a very popular movie from the 90s called Hari Krishnans, starring two greatest actors of all time, Mohanlal and Mammootty, and a little known actress from Indian cinema called Juhi Chawla, right? The entire movie is split between Mohanlal and Mammootty trying to woo Juhi Chawla, and there were two endings planned for this movie. One in which Mohanlal would get Juhi Chawla or marry Juhi Chawla, and the other would be where Mammootty would marry Juhi Chawla. Who got Juhi Chawla in the third ending? That's my question. You have another 20 seconds to answer this. Okay, let's go to the people who have raised hands. Pounce is closed. Yeah, go ahead, Shubhendu.
Rajnikant.
Not Rajnikant. Jayant, go ahead.
Shah Rukh Khan.
Shah Rukh Khan is absolutely right? So the ending of this movie is basically Juhi Chawla is confused. She can't make up her mind between Mohanlal and Mammootty. So she writes their names on mud, right? And then she throws a leaf in the air, and whichever it lands on, she's going to choose them. So they actually shot two endings where one would be Mohanlal, right? And the other would be Mammootty. And the rumor went that in the Muslim dominated areas of Kerala, they would release the Mammootty version because there were more fans of Mammootty in those areas versus the areas in which Mohanlal had a bigger fan following, they would release the Mohanlal version. The censor board looked at this and said, no way we're going to let you do this. You have to choose just one ending. And the ending that was submitted to the censor board was one with Mohanlal. So the Mammootty ending never got released. They had also done a third ending with Shah Rukh Khan, where Juhi Chawla is not able to make up her mind, so she says, I'll go with Shah Rukh instead. Right?
A lot of people have commented saying that it's like the plot of Deewana Mastana, which is true. That also has Juhi Chawla having to choose between Govinda and Anil Kapoor. But there she's not confused. She actually treats them like her friends. And in the end, she goes and gets married to Salman Khan, who plays her boyfriend, who these two don't know about. But yeah, fun times.
Oh, that's really interesting. Hari Krishnans and Govinda and Mammootty Mohanlal. I never thought I'd make that connection.
But there was no leaf involved in that.
No, nothing of that sort. Because she wasn't confused between them. She was pretty sure that she wants to marry Salman.
So here she'll know who to leave.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Good one.
Thank you. Let's take one fun fact from Karthik. Yeah, go ahead.
Similar theory is the one with Mani Ratnam's Thalapathy, where he had another ending plan where Rajini actually dies to be released in Malayalam because they wouldn't accept Mammootty dying, but I think they scrapped it and just went with Mammootty dying.
Oh, that's interesting. We'll check on that fact. Cool. Let's move on. Shakti, anything to add on this?
Nothing.
Cool. Let's move on quickly. Next question. Okay. This is a scene of Amir Khan and Meenakshi Seshadri from a 90s movie, right? This 1993 movie was known for an iconic dialogue. Name the 1993 movie. Amir Khan makes a cameo appearance in this 1993 movie, and he's asked about his upcoming films, and he mentions about a specific film. Name the other film. Right? So two films. won a 93 movie. And in that 93 movie, he asked about another film. And he says, yeah, I'm working on this movie. It's coming out soon, right? Which is the other movie. Pounds closes another 10 seconds. A lot of you getting it right, at least one part of it right. You won't get points. Just remember that. You need to get both parts right. Pounds is closed. So Lokanand, Subhajit, Tatagat, please just raise your hand and we'll come to you. Okay. Go. Yeah, go ahead, Mridul.
The movie is Damini.
Okay.
The from which the dialogue is, and the movie which Amir Khan is referring to, is it Rangila?
Not Rangila. A little too early. Somebody's not answered so far. Yeah, go ahead, Chetan. Or Mridul, one of you.
I think the movies he is mentioning is Dil.
Not Dil. Though Dil has a connection to this. Sneha, go ahead, or Sanket.
This is Damini, and he's talking about his upcoming film Andaz Apna Apna.
Absolutely right. 10 points to you for getting both parts right. This is a scene from Damini. This is actually the opening song sequence where Meenakshi Seshadri and Amir Khan are performing for a charity auction event, right? So Amir Khan plays Amir Khan, appearing at a school function, and he's dancing with Meenakshi on the stage. And at the end, there's an interview with him, and they ask him, you know, we heard about you working on this movie called Andaz Apna Apna. When is it releasing? And he says, yeah, it's coming out next year, right? And that's a reference to Andaz Apna Apna in Damini. Interestingly, both of these movies were directed by Rajkumar Santoshi, right? So that's points to everybody on chat who said both movies, Damini and Andaz Apna Apna. Any fun memories of Andaz Apna Apna? Shakti, Vaidehi, Srini, Bertie?
The opening credits of Andaz Apna Apna are quite popular.
Right.
Because I think it resurfaced on the internet some time ago because Shakti Kapoor's name, they've cancelled out the S because he can't pronounce S. His character, Crime Master Gogo, can't pronounce S properly. Paresh Rawal has been mentioned twice in the casting in the opening credits because he plays a double role. And they've just spelled Karishma and Raveena's names also in a funny manner because it's interchange. So a lot of thought has gone into actually Andaz Apna Apna, which is quite cool. And Govinda and Juhi Chawla play like small roles also in the beginning of that movie.
And it was a commercial flop.
Yes, it was a flop actually.
In fact, I thought Govinda did a fantastic job playing this sort of self-aware actor.
Yeah, Govinda is a star, yeah, poor guy. But yeah, and Juhi was also there in the movie, and Amir gets possessive. Also, I have forgotten one more thing I had in my brain, but anyway.
That's okay. Ravina and what are the characters?
Yeah,
called?
Ravina and Karishma were fighting during the movie when the movie was being shot, and Rajkumar. So Ravina Tandon, or I think mentioned in an interview that Rajkumar Santoshi, in the climax scene where they're both tied up together, he kept them tied up even when the camera was not rolling, so that they can talk to each other. But Rajkumar Santoshi literally tied up. And Rajkumar Santoshi in his interview refused to say that. He said, no, everybody got along. And there were also rumors that Amir Khan couldn't stand Salman Khan also. So basically no one liked each other, but they created such a great movie. So it doesn't matter.
And they never worked again, together.
They never worked again together after that.
Let's go to Rashmi. Go ahead, Rashmi.
So I'm just going to add something to Srini's Panda about the heroines tied together. In another movie, Jitendra was doing back in the 80s called Tofa. Sridevi and Jayaprada were the two actresses, and they wouldn't speak to each other, and it had become very difficult. So apparently, the director, I think Raghavendra Rao, and Jitendra locked both the heroines in one room, hoping that being locked together for 2-3 hours, they'd be angry and tell about whatever issues they had and all that. Instead, 3 hours later, when they opened the door, they found them sitting in icy silence across the room in 2 different chairs, reading magazines, having not spoken a single word to each other in this time. So, stars were stars.
Love it. Wow. I love such petty behavior. Yeah, please.
I'm so glad Bollywood has changed and become more 2 points to Rashmi for that really interesting fact.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Let's go to somebody who's not answered so far. Mohammad Farhan, go ahead.
I think Salman Khan agreed to do this movie only if it was promised the equal amount of screen time as Amir Khan. And I think both of them have the exact amount of screen time.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. Which interestingly connects back to Hare Krishnans. If anybody's watched Hare Krishnan, it's an annoying movie to watch because there's actually an equal time that is split between Mohanlal and Mammootty, right? So in a song, for example, if Mammootty would sing a line to Juhi Chawla, immediately be followed by Mohanlal singing another line, right? So dialogues, action sequences, the number of punches that were thrown, all of them are split down to the middle. So yeah, absolutely right. We'll give 2 points to Mohammad Farhan for that. And
also, I think Hum Aapke Hai Kaun was first offered to Amir Khan and he didn't have the dates or something. So Salman did.
Oh, that's really interesting. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, someone has commented saying that Amrish Puri was going to play a small role in Andaz Apna Apna because Crime Master Gogo is Mogambo ka bhatija or bhanja, whatever, something like that. So they wanted to kind of make it their own villain universe, but that didn't happen. But yeah, Gogo and Mogambo are related in
that
theory.
Is true.
Yes.
In fact, Chetri has mentioned that there's a great interview with Rajkumar Santoshi and Raji Masand on YouTube about Andaz Apna Apna. For those who are fans of Andaz Apna Apna, you should watch it. This is an interesting photograph that I'm sharing right now on the screen, where Sachin Tendulkar was actually present at the Muhurat shot. Right. In fact, on YouTube, there's an entire long video of this entire Muhurat sequence, which is very interesting as well. Anand PK says Shashi Tharoor was in the movie. No,
no, he was.
Shashi Tharoor was not in the movie.
He was at United Nations back then, yeah.
Yeah, there's a famous, interesting connection about Shashi Tharoor always like justifying, saying that no, that's not me in the bus sequence. Great. It's 5:25. Let's move quickly to the next question. Okay. Who went under disguise with a clever name called Major Prithviraj to dig a tunnel in secret in the 90s? Right. So multiple clues in this. The person had to dig a tunnel. This was being done in secret. This was in the 90s. And he went under disguise. And he used a name called Prithviraj, which was a clever pun or a wordplay. 15 seconds for you to answer this before we go to those who have raised hands. Okay, Pounce closes in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go to Sanket. Go ahead, Sanket.
This is Abdul Kalam during the 1998 atomic bomb test in Pokhran.
Why would he have to go under disguise?
So that because US was doing some, I think they were trying to CIA and they were trying to stop India from conducting those nuclear tests, and they were doing the disguises so that US doesn't know anything about it.
Absolutely. I mean, there were multiple reasons for it, but one was obviously to hide from the villagers around Pokhran, right? And make sure that it doesn't leak that, scientists is actually part of this project. And the second was they were trying to avoid the American satellites from detecting the work that was going on building the tunnel in Pokhran, right? So this is APJ Kalam, who took the name Prithviraj because he headed the Prithvi project, right? So it was a wordplay there where he actually used the name Major General Prithviraj, right? And this is when the entire team was temporarily positioned in Pokhran in 1998 for the nuclear tests, right? So 10 points to Sanket for that, and everybody else on the Pounce who got it right. Quite a few interesting guesses. Somebody said Akshay Khanna in Border, right? That's not correct. Shaktiman was another interesting guess. Shah Rukh Khan in Fauji. No, that's not the right answer. Arjun. Okay, that's it. Let's. Does anybody have an interesting fact? Let's go to Netal and then just Krishnan.
Is the movie Parmanu about this?
Yes, Parmanu is partly about the Pokhran blast. In fact, somebody had mentioned somewhere that it's actually not a fact, right? Somebody said that initially that John Abraham's character is probably like a inspired by Kalam, which is not true at all. So that is not a fact there. Nidish, go ahead.
Yes, actually, this fact is related to nuclear test, but not really that involved with this question. So basically, there's an interesting this thing that happened in 1971 during the this thing. But I'm not really sure of the date, but Pakistan was doing a few nuclear tests. I remember that Indian agents were spying on them.
Sure.
And basically, with that Morarji Desai, the Indian Prime Minister at that time, he actually leaked it to his Pakistan counterpart that time. Like in a phone call, he casually revealed it. So the Israeli intelligence and the Indian intelligence were caught and they were tortured and executed in Pakistan. In fact, because of what he did, because he revealed it to the Pakistan counterpart, there was actually Pakistan could complete the nuclear test and thus become a nuclear power. They were the Indian agents were about to sabotage it and stop them, but he revealed it to all in a casual call. He actually mentioned it to him that the Indian agents are spying there. So they got. I don't remember exactly about this. Actually, a day about this, I think.
Sure. Thanks, Nidish, for sharing that fact. We'll move ahead. Okay. There's an iconic 1997 music video which is inspired by the classic stories of Dracula, Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, The Mummy, The Wolfman, and Phantom of the Opera. Right? And of course, characters like Frankenstein and all that. Which iconic 1997 music video was inspired by these classics? You'll see characters in that music video which are inspired specifically with Dracula, Jekyll and Hyde. So you'll see a two-faced man, you'll see a mummy, a wolf man, and the Phantom of Opera. 10 more seconds to pounce before we move to those who have raised hands. I'm just lowering the hands from previous question. Somebody said bad Michael Jackson, which is an interesting guess. Okay, pounce closes in 5 seconds. Okay, pounce is closed. Let's go to Pramod Shetty. Go ahead, Pramod.
Is it Everybody by Backstreet Boys?
Absolutely right. Right. So this is Backstreet Boys' famous Backstreet's Back or Everybody, right? Where each of the members of the Backstreet Boys is dressed in tribute to a horror character, right? So there is Dracula, there is Phantom of the Opera, there's the Mummy, there's the Two-Face from Jekyll and Hyde, and of course there's a Wolfman, right? So it points to everybody who said Backstreet's Back. I'll give you points for Backstreet Boys as well, right? Some of you said Thriller song of Michael Jackson. Bertie, do you want to share your interesting fun fact? Oh, sorry, Bertie has left us for a few minutes. Interestingly, the Michael Jackson's song Thriller inspired this Backstreet Boys video as well, right? So that's an interesting fun fact by Falgun. Lokanand said Made in India by Alisha Chennai. It brings back memories, but it's not the right answer.
Someone also said Bijuria, Sonu Nigam's video, which is, I mean, it's not, yeah, it is kind of a copy of Thriller or Bad, I think, that one also, that video, but I don't think it has a homage to these people.
There's that Telugu video which is based on Thriller.
Oh yeah, the literal remake of Thriller, right?
Yeah.
What's it called?
I don't know, man. You'll have to go on YouTube and look for like Telugu
It's
Thriller or
Golimar.
something like that.
It's called Golimar, yeah.
Okay, I don't know. But
Yeah,
it's quite
so for those of you who remember the Golimar video, yeah.
It's nice.
In fact, it is also mentioned in the movie called Go Goa Gone, if anybody remembers that. Okay, so we'll end with one last question. It's already 5:30, so we're just going to end with one last question. Just give me 1 second. Great. So just a reminder for everyone, we have two big quizzes coming up. On July 26th, we have a cricket quiz. Just to clarify, this is going to be an inclusive and open cricket quiz. We will try to cover subjects across international Indian sport as well. But what we have also coming up on August 16th, the Independence Day weekend, is a special Great India quiz hosted by Dr. Naveen Jaikumar. For those of you who know Dr. Naveen has been hosting the famous landmark quizzes for almost 2 decades right now. So it's great to have him on board, and he'll be hosting this on August 16th. We have the final question of today's quiz. Before we do that, thank you so much to Vaidehi, Shrimi, Bertie for joining on this quiz, and everybody else who participated. Shakti, once again, you've been attending almost every one of our quizzes, right from the first quiz, I remember. And it's a special moment for us to have you on the panel, right? So far, he's been participating only as a participant. So thank you so much.
It's a pleasure, actually. Yeah.
Thanks. A big shout out to everybody else who's helping with the quiz, Manish and team at the back. This is the last question of today's quiz before we reveal the scores and the winners for today's today's quiz. Here we go. This is a phrase that became popular in the 1990s for 2 different reasons. One, an event in the 90s which led to many people being displaced. The second reason why this same phrase became popular was in the later part of the 90s, when a rare kind of interruption took place during a whirlwind performance in the late 90s, right? So a lot of us who followed sports in the 90s might remember that a certain phrase that was popular in the early 90s, which led to, unfortunately, many people being displaced, was used in a different context in the later part of the 90s. Which phrase? That's all I'm looking for, 2-word phrase. Some really interesting guesses coming in. People said airlift, wardrobe malfunction, apartheid, which is not a 2-word phrase, El Nino. Okay, let's go. Pounds close another 5 seconds before we go to those of raised hands. Okay, Pounds is closed. Let's go to Rupal. Go ahead, Rupal. Nitin, go ahead.
Is it Desert Storm?
Can you explain the 2 contexts?
So I just guessed it based on the thing because of Sachin's Desert Storm performance, whirlwind performance. So
for you, Desert Storm means the Sachin Tendulkar performance and not the Gulf War piece.
Yeah, so that's what I guessed. It's a big Sachin fan. That's me.
Absolutely right? Like most Indians, you're a big Sachin fan. 10 points to Nitin on that. This is absolutely right. This is the phrase Desert Storm, which was obviously used during the Gulf War, but it was also used the second time during Tendulkar's iconic innings in Sharjah. Does anyone have memories from this cricket match?
I do.
Can you tell us anything interesting, Shakti?
I remember Shane Warne saying that he still gets nightmares because of Sachin, like hitting him out like 6 or something. I remember that.
Okay.
There was actually a very interesting story which came out recently that when Tendulkar was running with VVS Lakshman, he started scolding Lakshman very badly and all that. And then when he actually went back to the pavilion, his brother Ajit Tendulkar scolded Sachin, saying you should not scold your own teammate. So that's what happened. That came out recently.
Oh,
so
really? That's wow.
Despite scoring 143, Sachin said he had to be scolded by his brother when he went back.
For scolding someone else?
Yeah.
Nice. Shresh, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, this is one of the 14 matches where Sachin scored 100 and India lost. So India lost the game, by the way. And that people forget, but they did enough to qualify for the next round, which was kind of what the intention was. But yeah, 10 test hundreds where India have lost and 14 ODI hundreds.
Yeah.
There's a very interesting fact about this tournament also. Australia won all the league matches but lost the final. And just before, when Australia had come to India, I think there was Australia, India, Zimbabwe tri-series. India won all the league matches but lost to Australia in the final.
Oh, we'll give you 2 extra points for that. We'll take one more interesting fact. Scorers, let me know when the scores are ready. Go ahead, Anand.
Yeah, so this innings is also where Tony Greig's exact reference of what a player, which became synonymous completely with this. I think it was this innings from Tendulkar, the 143 one, which actually sort of it's immortalized. I mean, Tony Greig's phrase is immortalized in, yeah.
Also the dialogue, the dancing in the aisles. That's
yeah.
Tony Greig.
Absolutely right. We'll give you 2 points for that. Shresh also gets 2 points. And let's go to Pratyush. or Rashmi?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't have any cricket fundas, which all of you know, but I have one funda on Desert Storm. So
Yes.
Desert Storm, when when Saddam Hussein marched into Kuwait and declared it as the 18th province of Iraq, and the Americans landed in the Middle East to quote unquote save democracy. That was the first time they had this concept called embedded journalists for the first time ever. And this event is considered single-handedly responsible for driving cable TV usage across the world. So they had these journalists who were embedded in army units, and they would show you a live telecast of the war. Until then, most people were pretty happy, watching whatever it is that Doordarshan or whoever their national TV providers dished out. But with this, everybody needed cable TV. This was 1990. And by 1993, in 3 short years, India had more than 30 cable channels.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So suddenly you found dish antennae propping up everywhere. Obviously, there was a lot of interest in the Gulf War because we have so many people in the Gulf from India working there, and it's so close to us. The theater of war was so close, and we'd never seen something that is so spectacular. It was all green, and you would see bombs go off, and all kinds of stuff would happen. And now we are the biggest television market in the world in terms of the sheer number of channels and the sheer variety of entertainment and other options that we have. So maybe all of us should send a thank you note to Mr. Saddam Hussein, wherever he is, for marching into the 18th province and making our television better than Bunyad and Hum Log and whatever it is that we watched in the 80s.
So Indian cable television owes its birth to Saddam Hussein.
Popularity, maybe not birth, but popularity, definitely.
Thanks, Rashmi, for sharing that. Great, we are ready with the scores right now. Manish, we can go ahead. Okay, in the meanwhile, thank you so much, Shakti, Shrimi, Vaidehi. Bertie had to step out because, not to name drop, but he has an interview with Siddharth Basu on another quiz. So he had to leave for the last 10 minutes. These are the scores on how people performed throughout the entire quiz. So initially, Divya, Rahul, Sneha, Rashmi were leading. Then we finally ended with Nitin winning the quiz with 92 points, closely followed by Rahul and Shubhendu at 90 points. Rashmi, Sumukh at 82, Anand, Diya, Rupal, Pratyush, Sneha at 80 points. Shresht, Jayant, Oindri, Ramesh, Rikhya, Sanket, Shweta. Congratulations to all of you. Utkarsh, Aarti, Tatagat, Varun, Aditi. Wow, that's really a high scoring quiz for a 90s quiz. For those fun facts, we'll announce this after the quiz because we just want to verify some of the facts that people have shared. So we didn't want to announce it on the call. But thank you so much for participating in today's quiz. I hope you enjoyed the quiz. Like we said, we have one cricket quiz coming up on July 26th and the big quiz coming on August 16th, hosted by Dr. Naveen Jaikumar. That's a great India quiz. Do register for these quizzes. We'll be sending these links out on our social media handles. If you have any feedback on the question or today's quiz, do write into us at indiawantsknowquiz@gmail.com. Thank you so much. Stay safe and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks, Srini. Thanks, Vaidi.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shakti. Bye. See you.